Wang Wen in Beijing. He's the Dean and Professor of the Chongyang Institute for Financial Studies at Renmin University. He was also the former chief opinion editor for the Chinese Communist Party's English language daily, The Global Times. Wang Wen, thank you very much for your time today. Talk to us then about the significance of this visit by the UK Prime Minister, yet another Western leader to come and visit Xi Jinping in Beijing.
Well, I think this is a very big issue because Chinese people warmly welcome the return of pragmatic diplomacy in the UK. Because we all know over the past 8 years, many British prime ministers have excessively followed the foreign policy of the United States, failed to visit China, and even worsened China-Britain relationships, leading a bilateral tie to a bridge from a golden age into the ice age. So this was a very regrettable. And in fact, I think in the past, the UK underestimated China's strategic sincerity in wanting to improve relationship with the UK. So that's why I think the UK Prime Minister, after 8 years visit China, we appreciate, we think that has a very good strategic significance for the bilateral relationship, also for the global condition.
Yeah, and you mentioned the United States there. How much of this sort of coming together with all these Western leaders heading towards Beijing is a result of the President Trump administration and the America First policies that he's been rolling out, and the sort of the friction that's been generated between him and his longtime allies?
Well, I think for Starmer government in the UK, because he emphasizes not taking sides and refuse to create a new Cold War between China and the US, which reflects the UK's return to the tradition of the putting national interest first in diplomacy. I think this shift in a rational policy demonstrates the UK's diplomatic autonomy, which we very appreciate. And in fact, over the past 2 months, traditional allies of the US, such as France, Canada, South Korea, Ireland, Finland, and now UK, those countries' leaders, have visited China. All Western leaders who visit China say something similar like this: decoupling from China is a mistake, and we have to make friends, make connections, new connections with China. I think this means that the so-called strategy of some Western strategists to block China or decoupling from China, that strategy has failed.
Now, Prime Minister Starmer is also under pressure domestically to bring up human rights issues with China, in particular Jimmy Lai in Hong Kong, who's been under arrest there, who is a UK citizen. Do you think that will be discussed, and how do you think China will try to broach that?
Well, I think China and UK also have many differences, such you mentioned, the Hong Kong issues, or even the Russia-Ukraine conflict. However, these issues should not become the external obstacle that hidden the improvement and the enhancement of bilateral relationship between China and the UK. And both China and the UK are permanent members of the UN Security Council and major country with global influence. And nowadays, we all know that the world is at a dangerous moment. Unilateralism is excessively prevalent, and China and the UK have a responsibility to prevent the world from heading in the worst direction. So we all know that UK should not become a vessel of a hegemonic country. On the contrary, we think the UK is a great country only by maintaining diplomatic independence and demonstrates autonomy can make UK great again.
Wang Wen, thank you very much for your perspectives today. Good to get your thoughts.